Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Caps on Comics. I'm Kenny Caps, and tonight we're going to be discussing vampires. Let's get started. So traditionally, the Comics Code Authority prevented comic books from publishing vampire comics or vampires in comic books. The code was revised in February 1971, and as a result, comics were allowed to publish vampires and other certain supernatural characters as long as they were already in established literary works, such as Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Later that year, Morbius, the living vampire, appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 101. Created by Roy Thomas and designed by Gil Kane, who based the character's look on Jack Palance, Morbius was initially one of Spider-Man's horror-based rogues. Later, he would become the brooding, and gritty, and tragically flawed anti-hero that we all know and love today. What makes Morbius unique is that he's an award-winning biochemist who's imbued with pseudo-vampiric superhuman traits after a failed biochemical experiment which was intended to cure his rare blood disease. So tragic. Another interesting thing about this issue is it's the first issue of Spider-Man written by someone other than Stan Lee. Lee, who was busy writing a screenplay for an unproduced science fiction movie, had Roy Thomas take over. Jared Leto was cast to play Morbius in the Sony version of the MCU, but that movie has been pushed back to like January of 2022, and who the hell knows if it's ever going to come out. If that movie's good though, you can expect that this comic book is going to jump in value. So, after testing the waters with the quasi-vampire Morbius, Marvel was now prepared to launch a regular vampire title as part of its new line of horror books. After some discussion, it was decided to use Dracula because, one, he's the most famous vampire to the general public, and two, because Bram Stoker's creation and secondary characters were in the public domain. This version of Dracula was created by Jerry Conway and Gene Colan and debuted in The Tomb of Dracula #1 in 1972. The Tomb of Dracula was initially kept separate from the rest of Marvel properties, but eventually the potential for a sales-boosting crossover was just unavoidable, and Dracula appeared in the first issue of Giant-Sized Spider-Man in 1974. Dracula hasn't been in any movies just yet, or Marvel movies, but who knows what could happen. So now you have vampires. What you gonna do? Create a vampire hunter to kill them all, right? Created by Created by writer Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan, Blade first appeared in The Tomb of Dracula 10 in 1973. Let's try this again. A human-vampire hybrid, Blade devoted his life to ridding the world of all vampires, utilizing his unique physiology to become the perfect vampire hunter. For me personally, Blade was the first Marvel vampire that I'd ever heard of. And frankly, I didn't even know he was a comic book character when I first saw him played by Wesley Snipes. Mahershala Ali is set to play Blade in some upcoming MCU film, and I'm sure that's going to drive the value of this book through the roof. So, what's your stance on vampires? Do you like them? Do you hate them? I know some people that love the horror genre, and it's another awesome aspect of Marvel Comics. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you on the next video.